What's going on, YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to talk about Batman Detective Comics, issue number 1080, written by Ram V, art by Jason Sean Alexander and Mike Perkins. So this is part 5 of Batman Outlaw. So in the previous issue, Jim Gordon, Selina Kyle, and various others were working together to save Batman's life because he had been hanged by the Orgham family. But they did something to where it seemed like he was dead to them, but he really was kind of alive. Unless, of course, they kept him hanging up there for like 2 weeks or something, which they didn't really do. Selina got his body back, and along the way, she's trying to get him out of there because his mind's broken. He's got the toxins in him. He's got Barbados. He's got a lot of things going wrong in his mind. I mean, we have this. Let's also not forget Zuranaz in there somewhere too. Batman's mind has been taken over so many times this past year that he needs time to flush all that infection out, if you will, and make himself whole again. So while she's trying to escape, Orgham family members try to come after her, but ultimately she's saved by Two-Face, because while Two-Face has beef with Batman, the Orgham family has really done a number on him, and so he's kind of working to take care of business. I also like the moment, too, between Prince Orgham and his mom, where she finds out that he ultimately kind of in some ways helped Batman, or Bruce Wayne, in the end. But we also find out that he did stuff to his father, and she ultimately kind of leaves him for dead. Now, is he ultimately dead for good, or is he going to ever come back? I don't exactly know. But the most surprising thing in the issue is that Selina Kyle and Talia al Ghul actually work together on this thing, which is something you don't see all that often, given their caring nature for Bruce Wayne and Batman. They kind of set aside some of their differences to ultimately save his life, because they both ultimately love the same guy. And they work together to kind of help him out. Talia kind of takes him away to go off on whatever quest he's going to go on to basically free his mind while the city and all this other chaos continues onwards. So we got that, and the character of Flamingo shows up at the end, and Barbados is kind of there, and Renee Montoya's there, and the storyline continues to keep going. Then in the backup storyline, written by Dan Waters, it's basically Damian Wayne having nightmares as a child. Not sure how this is going to tie in going forward. Is Damian going to play a role in this arc? But it kind of sets the stage of him becoming Batman 666 in a way. Like, there's foreshadowing there. But who knows if they'll actually ever do that, because Williamson's taken charge on the character. And again, these are just nightmares and that going on. Not sure if they were all that necessary or needed. There's some kind of cool looking images with his nightmare stuff, but Damian's design here doesn't really do the character any favors per se. It's not something I'd really strive to watch, but it's okay, I suppose. I guess it's kind of neat to show Damian's vulnerability as a child, if you will, but a lot of these backups don't really feel all that needed, in my humble opinion, but it is what it is, I suppose. So, overall consensus, Detective Comics 180 had a few kind of good elements to it, but at the same time, I'm kind of ready for this storyline to wrap itself up. I feel like we've been going on and on with the Orgham family, and it just feels kind of never-ending at this point. I'm sure we'll get to the ending soon, but in terms of the story and its pacing, it just feels like it's dragged on a bit too long, and I kind of want to jump into something else for Detective Comics. But again, Ram V set out to kind of make this huge, like, kind of operatic story, if you will, and I think in some ways succeeded. I don't think this is a storyline for everyone. Really, the only classic Batman villains you have in this thing are Two-Face, I guess Selina Kyle and Talia al Ghul, and Mr. Freeze making brief appearances, but it's more so focused on these new characters, the Orgham family, and your enjoyment of the story, I think, depends on whether or not you're really into the Orgham stuff. I'm not really that fascinated by the Orghams, personally. There's some good elements in there, but they're not necessarily characters that if they didn't appear again, I would really miss them and want to see more. I don't know, this just feels like a different type of Batman story, and you're either going to be on board with it or you're not, and I'm kind of somewhere in the middle sometimes. There's some things I like, but then there's other bits where I'm just like, I'm not really all that excited about where this is going. I think the Batman mind control stuff has been done so many times this past year that it doesn't feel really fresh. It just kind of feels like, oh, here we go again kind of vibes. But I do admire that at least the storyline has stayed kind of consistent, that it's kind of stuck with some big long-term thing and not taken too many major detours. But I'm just kind of ready for this thing to wrap up and move in a more new and exciting direction for Batman Detective Comics. Between the two main Batman line books, I mean, Batman and Robin's kind of the third one because that's more of a team-up book, but between this and the main Batman run with Zuranaz, I am enjoying this storyline a little bit more. but it's still not what I would call amazing in my own personal opinion. It's just a storyline that's fine, I suppose, but it's kind of overstayed its welcome. There's been some good parts to it, but I kind of want to move on to something else. But I'm still like so far into this thing that I might as well see it till the end. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm ready for it to go in a bit of a new direction. Although, one of the things I did like about it was the stuff with Leanne and her mom. Like, that stuff, I think, was quite good, although it's not featured in this issue. So, I'm still wondering if this is before or after the events of Williamson's Green Arrow run. I don't exactly know when things take place anymore. With Detective Comics, it's always kind of off in its own little bubble and sometimes hard to determine when certain storylines take place. I assume, like I said, that this may be before that. I don't know. My head's spinning right now trying to figure all this out. But anyways, what did you think of Detective Comics number 1080? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Post your comments down below. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content. Hit the bell for notifications. All the other fun stuff. I still got 2 more DC comic reviews, which I'm going to be posting today. And then I'll be all caught up with DC stuff until next year. Funny. We only got 1 day left this year. So look forward to some of the other stuff I post between now and tomorrow, I suppose. So, all right, well, that's all I have to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.